On a freezing December morning in 1987, a retired British police officer set off alone across Ilkley Moor in Yorkshire. All he had on him was a camera and a compass. He came back shaken. He had an hour of his life missing, and the compass was pointing in the wrong way. What came out of this encounter was one of the most argued about photographs in the entire subject. It's quite literally possibly some of the clearest photographic evidence of an encounter that we've got today.
Hi guys, welcome back to UAP Network. It's Dave here along with Kyle. We can't wait to dive into today's topic. What are we covering today, Kyle?
Today we're going to be covering a very famous case in Yorkshire, the Ilkley Moor incident from 1987. And I'm really looking forward to this one because this one is one that I've looked at in the past and it's so weird. Yeah. But Dave, before we get into that, have we got any news?
News! There's a little bit of news. Did you see the footage over Roswell for 2026? It's been on a few channels this week. I'll put a screenshot up in the edit, whoever does the edit later, just so you guys can see it. Have you seen it? Drop us a comment, let us know what you think about it. It's kind of weird. Have you seen that, Kyle?
Well, actually, behind the scenes peek here, I saw it about 5 seconds before we started filming, so yes. It's a bit... Well, it's one of the two words that we use a lot, weird and interesting.
Yes.
What it's like, it's stood on its side, and interestingly enough, when Bob Lazar spoke about UFOs, what he always tends to say is they kind of turn that way when they're going to travel, because it also reminded me of a video that was filmed in, I think, Mexico from the pilot when one came flying across the screen. Very, very similar. It again, looks odd. More sightings every week. I wonder if this has got anything to do with the potential disclosure we keep talking about.
Exactly. And shout out to Desmond, who posted the video that we looked at together. So Desmond, keep doing great stuff. It's great that you're putting that content out there. We're also really intrigued by the start of that video and the lightning flash. If you guys haven't seen that video, go and check out Desmond's channel, and you'll be able to see that. So it's really interesting and hot off the press news over there. Good. I haven't heard back on my Freedom of Information request yet, but I have had confirmation that they're looking at it and they're going to look at it. I think it's a 20 working day lead time, so as soon as we get responses to that, guys, we'll share them with you. So we've asked West Yorkshire Police for a little more detail. If you remember a few episodes ago, we'd looked at a few Freedom of Information requests, so we used some of the data we gathered there and asked our own to see what we could dive into. So I'm looking forward to that coming.
Cool. And interestingly enough, one to cover off as well, like I've got all the documents ready to go through the other months from 2009 that I'm going to get to soon, hopefully, because I've been doing a side project for work. So hopefully I'm going to have some free time soon, and then I can start getting that data together and we can start going through some historic cases again, for which is why this all started in the first place.
It is.
Fingers crossed.
Great. Can't wait. Amazing.
Cool.
I think that's the news for this week. Right, Kyle, we're going to deep dive into our exciting topic for today. So I'm going to hand the reins to you.
I'm storytelling this week, and I'm kind of glad because I really like this one. There's kind of two topics, two cases from the past that I really like, and I love this one. And there's another one which I'll not talk about because hopefully we'll cover it again in the future. When you get to the end of this as well, there is a great video that Area 52 Chris Ramsey did on this one, where he deep dove into it as well, and I definitely would say people go and have a look at that, but probably if they're watching this video they've probably already seen it, because this is a subject, if you know, you know. So what I've done with this, Dave, is I've broken it down into sections,
right.
And pretty much like we did last week, which I really enjoyed, was I'm going to go through these sections bit by bit as we kind of outline the story, and then we can kind of discuss as we go. I really enjoyed that last week, so
Same.
I'm hoping we can recapture the magic. So for anybody watching this, if you see my eyes doing this, it's because I'm referring to my nose. Okay.
Good shout.
I don't have a photographic memory. Okay. So we're going to start with background and setup. To kind of give a little bit of colour as we go through this, rather than just talking about what this is really famous for, which is a photograph. And it's worth pointing out before we get going that this is again something that happened really close to where me and Dave are from. Ilkley Moor is in the Yorkshire Moors. Is it Yorkshire Moors, Dave?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Because I'm from like South Yorkshire, where you get the Peak District. This is on the northern side.
Yeah, Ilkley Moor Bartat, which is Ilkley Moor without your tat, your hat, translated from Yorkshire here in the UK.
I love that. I love that. So we're going to break it down into different sections, and I'm going to walk through this. And then at key points, I'm just going to open it up, and me and Dave will have a chat. So background and setup. So first off, what we need to get to know is the witness, and a little bit about that person and their potential credibility. So it's worth pointing out to start off with that this has only ever been reported by a pseudonym. We've never actually got the real name of who this happened to.
Yeah.
Now, I initially think that's quite interesting because they're not wanting to expose themselves for this particular encounter, which means they're not really trying to get famous off it. So an interesting pot to start.
Yeah.
The pseudonym that this was reported under was a gentleman called Philip Spencer, and he was a former police officer, and he was from down south, as we say in the UK. He's been described in the past often as ex-Met or an ex-London cop.
Yeah.
So while it's happening to him in Yorkshire, Dave, he's not from around here.
No.
But he moved to Ilkley for a quieter life. And this quieter life decision, yeah, right. I'm going to move to Yorkshire for quite a life, and then has this happen to
Yeah,
him.
of course. Yeah, imagine.
Imagine that, yeah. So he's a credit. So to kind of get stuck into the credibility of the Observer, what we've actually found out from the interviews that he did without revealing his name was that he was trained to observe, recall details, and write accurate incident reports. Now, Dave mentioned this on on the MOD one that we did before.
Yeah.
Whenever you get someone from the military making a report, Dave, they're trained to observe these things, right?
They are, yeah. Like, I remember it from my basic training. We did observation tasks. It's similar to the stuff you did with kids, right? Memory games and all that sort of stuff. But they do it on like intense, really large-scale situations, and they test you in your practice. It's similar for the police, right? They need to look at crime scenes or, whatever the scene is and spot the things the rest of us wouldn't. And that's really important.
Yep.
So when we're talking about that credibility, that's the sort of thing that, us normal folks don't really know, don't really see.
Exactly. But there's another point about police officers, right, which you have to call into this as well, which is police officers, part of their job is they have to go to court whenever they've closed a case, right? And you've got the judge, which means they're used to being cross-examined.
Of course.
And they're used to having stories scrutinised as well. So this person's probably going to be thinking long and hard about what he's releasing into his story to make sure that if he's giving an account of a set of events, it needs to be watertight.
Yep.
It can't have holes poked in it because it's going to affect his credibility.
100%.
If we were to be arguing one side of each of this, be it, do you believe it's true, do you believe it's not, I'm already feeling like I'm giving the vibe of what side of the side I'd land on already. UFO researchers often highlight his background as a credibility booster.
Yeah.
Why not? I mean, if he's a trained observer, he's part of the police force, he has to go into these environments where he's cross-examined. And also, you've got to think about the impact to his personal life and him as a character if this was to get out. Hence the fact he's not coming out and telling people what he's called.
It's still frowned upon today in 2026. 1987, completely different world, guys.
Oh, God, yeah. There is a point here where he comes up with about skeptics, that they often counter that training doesn't make anyone immune to misperception or false memories. And that's true. That's true. But you would think that, again, with the steps he's had to go through, he would have interrogated his own memory to make sure that what he was reporting was reality to him.
Yeah, agreed. I think...
Okay.
We've both had experiences. We know what we can remember. We know what happened. I think, irrelevant of the credibility, but building on the credibility, I think it's fair. Like, it's unlikely that this was just for fame, notoriety, or anything else that might drive it. Yeah, thinking about the Silpho Moor incident, I've got a saucer up in my chip shop. At the point that you're doing that, you want some notoriety, right? Whether it was true or not.
Exactly.
Yeah? You want everybody in your chip shop. this guy doesn't want anybody near him. This is like, private. Please leave me alone. But you guys need to know about this. Yeah.
100%. So there's a little bit of routine that goes on here. He regularly walked across Ilkley Manor to visit his father-in-law at East Morton.
Yeah.
And because he was doing it on a regular basis, he's familiar with the terrain and the general layout as well, paths and landmarks. So he knows what a difference in the landscape would look like.
Sure.
If something was happening in and around the moor when he's travelling, he's going to spot it straight away like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
He's going to know that so forgive the phrase, he's going to know if that's alien to the environment that he's used to travelling across.
Yeah, pun intended.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. He's not known as a local eccentric or UFO guy before going public.
Sure.
And there's no suggestion that he set out on that day to hunt for anomalous phenomena. He was going to visit his father-in-law.
Yeah. Out for a walk.
We'll get into I think it was early morning as well. Yeah. And when we get into the detail about what he's carrying with him, you can see that the intention of what he was wanting to do while he was actually on his travels.
Yeah.
So let's think about the environment now. So the location, as we've said a few times, Ilkley Moor, West Yorkshire. It's a large expanse of rough moorland. So if you're not used to kind of what it would look like here in the UK, think flat surfaces with some hills, some rocks, general shrubbery, not a lot of trees.
Yeah. We'll pop a photo in the edit just for you guys who aren't, don't want to kind of look it up on Google, but it'll make it easy.
One of the things to point out as well, that it's quite treacherous visibility if you've got mist.
Yeah.
If you've got impeded eyeline in this kind of, and I know this from, I used to do a lot of walking in and around the Peak District, which is another area like this in the UK. If the weather closes in, can be quite dangerous, and that's what you tend to find when you think about Ilkley Moor.
Yeah.
The date it happened was the 1st of December, 1987. It was winter. It was cold. Very atmospheric.
Yeah.
Very eerie.
Yeah.
Is probably the right way to put it.
Imagine an encounter when it already feels eerie. Yeah. Yeah. Make you think twice about going out again, won't it?
Yeah. It was early morning.
Yeah.
And what that means is, when you think about Ilkley Moor, it's early morning and he's travelling across his father-in-law, there's not a lot of people there that he's going to bump into. It's not expected that he's going to bump into crowds as he's travelling.
Yeah.
It's been described in the reports as it was a very misty, foggy day, and it was a typical kind of morning in the moors for that time of year. Reduced clarity at distance, but the conditions were perfect for kind of that strange, like I was saying, that strange kind of spooky feeling as you're kind of walking across the terrain.
Yeah.
So he's walking across, but he's actually not just walking across. It's not like he's just jumped, put his coat on and grabbed his wallet and gone. He's actually got some stuff with him. He's got a still camera loaded with film, single shot, and at that time it's not digital. It's the old wind it on, and then you go again. And because he knows what the terrain's like, again, so you've got to think about how much he knows the environment he's walking into. He's carrying a compass.
Yeah.
Just in case the visibility gets a little bit too low for him to see where he is. So he's got a way in which he can find himself back.
Yeah.
And other than that, he's got normal walking gear on, Dave. There's no suggestion of any scientific equipment. But obviously these two pieces of equipment that gets called out become integral to the case.
Yeah. Yeah, really interesting. I think you wouldn't have had any more equipment back then. Like, I remember, we call it rambling, right? We call it hiking now, but back in the 1980s and 90s, it was rambling. I can picture this man, probably some kind of tan-coloured trousers, some bright red socks, some kind of rambling boots with his socks wrapped over the top. Like, there was a look, especially in the 80s and 90s. Like, so I can picture this really clearly. I'll see if I can find a picture of like a kind of 80s, 90s rambler and pop it in the edit. Because just so you guys can picture what we're thinking.
Love it. So for everybody watching, now I want to put you in the position of Philip Spencer, because this is where it gets a little bit serious and a little bit scary. So again, it's early morning. There's no one around. You're walking across this empty rural landscape. The weather's close, but not too close. You can see some distance, but it's not like you can see to the horizon. and you think that everything's okay, and
Yeah.
you're doing the walk you always do. But then he spots something, Dave.
Yeah.
He spots something in his direct eye line. And he spots ahead on the path. The distance has always been recognised as around tens of meters, not a huge distance.
Yeah.
Enough for you to see and go, that's not right.
Yeah.
He spots a small figure. The estimate was around 4 feet tall.
Yeah.
Distinctively shorter than an adult human. The body appears to be stocky. The words used were oddly proportioned.
Yeah.
And the head was rather large. It didn't seem to suit the rest of the body.
Yeah.
So imagine you seeing that, and then I'll just kind of cover off with one more bit. Interestingly, if you think about a human, you'd think pink, fleshy. If you think into the realm of the topic, you'd think grey. No. The colour is greenish.
Yeah.
A dark green. You're walking across, you're looking across, you see this 4 foot green figure that looks strange. What would you do? What would you think?
I don't know. I think you'd have some apprehension. You'd have some curiosity. Personally, I don't know how close I'd get. Too many stories of goblins and gremlins and stuff, and in your head. Certainly in my head, I picture those to be green things, irrelevant of the movie, right? Gremlins, but green things that are smaller. What is that? Maybe I would get a bit closer. Don't know. The creepy atmosphere might have kept me a bit more at arm's length. You know what I mean?
I get this, like, if I try and put myself in that position, I get that feeling of, when your stomach drops.
Yeah.
Like that feeling of this is not normal.
Yeah.
This is not normal. He goes into detail, Dave, though. He goes into a little bit more detail, so you can think that he's seeing this. When you think about the atmosphere being close in, and this thing's tens of meters away, there's not a lot of quick movement. He's able to look, and he's able to kind of start to judge what the creature looks like. And he says that limbs seem thin, with arms possibly longer than they expected to be.
Yeah.
The head is out of shape and out of proportion. It's large, it's more bulbous than normal. It doesn't have a human shape to it.
Yeah.
And it seems to be moving in a really unusual gait, like it's moving really stiff, like the limbs and the joints don't seem to be moving as you would expect a human to move. And it's at this point he starts to notice he can't see any clothing.
Yeah.
He seems to wonder, is this more of a suit? Is it skin?
Yeah.
Odd. Really, really odd.
It is odd. Really odd.
So, it raises one arm when he sees it. It's like it waves at him.
Yeah.
And it seems to be in a noticeable, deliberate motion. Philip initially thinks it's saying stay back or warning him away.
Yeah.
But this comes back later in the story, which has quite a significant turn on what has happened to date in this journey to his father-in-law's. And I'm not going to get into that. I'm going to come back to that after.
Yeah.
But it makes it even more strange.
Yeah.
But the ambiguity of this gesture becomes... Yeah, it kind of... I think it plays on Philip's mind quite a bit, because he can't seem to understand why this thing is gesturing. It's almost like it knew him.
Yeah. Or maybe it was telling him not to come closer.
That's what he initially thought.
Yeah.
Wait until events unfold.
Yeah.
So he sees it. This gesture happens as Philip's trying to figure out what this being is actually trying to convey to him. He instinctively raises his camera and takes one single photograph.
Yeah.
He doesn't try to take multiple shots. There is a limitation again on the equipment. It's not like we've got what we've got with his iPhones and digital cameras.
Yeah.
He just takes the shot, the figure that he sees, it turns away, walks away and heads off up the path. But Philip doesn't choose to run. He chooses to follow it.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if at this point we'll probably throw up the photo so you can try to get a general sense as to what Philip saw in the day.
Yeah.
And it might give a bit more context at this point before the story goes on.
Yeah.
But what I'll do here, Dave, is I'll try and explain what the photo is, and we can kind of overlay it over the top.
Yeah.
But basically, the photo, once it gets developed, it shows like a small greenish figure. It's very blurred, very grainy, as you would expect with the technology of the time.
Yeah.
And you can see that mall and what's the word? Topography in the background. Yeah. And you can see that this is not a setup. It's a very natural photo that's been taken in the moors.
Yeah.
And you can see how the figure does actually seem to cast a shadow as well. The photo itself has been analysed, and as you would expect, there's arguments two and four on both sides of the kind of the extremes of this topic, the people that really believe and the super skeptics. What I'd like to call in that photographic experts have looked at this, and they've reportedly said there's no clear evidence of any tampering. So let's just let that sit with the viewers. It doesn't seem to have been doctored in any way. Okay. At this point, we get on to the next story after he's kind of chasing after this thing. He heads towards it.
Yep.
And as he's heading towards it, he noticed that the mist around him starts to get thicker, and the visibility starts to drop even more. And he notices that he loses line of sight with the figure as it disappears. So he's following this. This is not seconds. This is probably more minutes. Yep. And in this kind of situation, right, minutes will feel like an eternity.
Yeah.
You're seeing something that's really strange. It's
100%.
Moved.
Yep.
You're following it, but you see it disappear into the haze as you kind of try to follow it up. But not after losing the figure into the haze, and Philip's probably trying to get his bearings. He notices a craft rising from the moor, and he describes it as a whitish, somewhat luminous, consisting of two saucer-shaped sections joined together, like a typical saucer. And it's got a dome on the top, and it appears to ascend, lift vertically before departing. Thoughts, Dave?
I think, obviously, we both spent a bit of time researching this. I think in the research I did, there was mention of a hum. Now, I don't know how true that is. I only saw that on one piece of kind of text. I didn't see it in his interviews. So I don't know if that's been added for dramatic effect because we want to hear it. But I think it's interesting that it's a double saucer kind of together. I think that's quite interesting. I think the rising silently, and shooting off, that's very consistent with, all reports that we kind of see, not only in the media, but also within the topic, kind of more directly. None of that surprises me. Am I surprised he didn't get another photograph? No. Like the windy cameras, miserable weather, fog's quite wet. The cameras are expensive, and they certainly were in 1987. So it's likely he took his shot. You kind of got one shot, and then you had to wind it, which is quite noisy. You're not wanting to draw attention to yourself in that situation. I think you probably just focused on getting there, and then once you got there, this thing's kind of lifting off and taking off. You're probably in like stunned disbelief. I know one of the times where I had an experience and tried to get my camera out, I couldn't get it out quick enough, and it was already off. So I think sometimes you just can't react quick enough, even if you want to. It's very interesting.
He took a bit of heat for that, didn't he? I think some of the skeptics said they found it suspicious, but
I think that's just natural, isn't it? We go to the rationalisation, and obviously here at UAP Network, we're just curious, right? We don't have any judgment, we don't have any bias. We're definitely probably more in the realm of wanting to believe. Personally, I am. Yeah, I believe there's something. I can't tell you what that something is. Right. Um,
Yeah.
and Kyle, I think you're similar, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've kind of gone on a journey with this because it was funny because this is completely down a bit of a rabbit hole. But I remember having a conversation with you before we decided to do this,
Yeah.
and I was always in the camp of I want to believe. Famous X-Files poster, I want to believe, and I felt like that all the way up until going to Sol.
Yeah.
When I went to Sol, I came back going, oh, I would say I do believe. I think there is something based on the conversations that we're having and the credibility that was in the room at the time. But that's probably a topic for another day.
Yeah.
But to the point of taking the photo, I think if you see an odd creature, if you see like a ghost or something, you probably do go, whoa, what's that? But if you're walking across a moorland and you're looking up and you've got this huge craft in front of you, I think awe comes into it where you're like,
yeah,
all rationality goes out of your brain.
Sure.
You'd be like, what in the world is this? So that's kind of how I've kind of put myself into his position, and I think that the whole curiosity part is kind of learning to do that. Put yourself in the position of this person doing this thing. Also think about the fear that you might have in that kind of situation, in quite a spooky environment, seeing something that is, again, alien, but a bunch. Takes a bit of a weird turn now, if it's not been weird already, because Philip begins to realise that he's got missing time. And how this works is, the craft's gone. He continues his walk, he's still heading towards his father-in-law, and he eventually gets to the village. And I don't know if we see these very regular out and about now, but the public clocks where you've got clock towers and stuff like that. But he notices, he looks at his watch, and he looks at the clock, and there's an hour's difference. But when he gets to his father-in-law's, he notices that the clocks match the village time, not his watch.
Yeah.
And he realises there's an hour missing.
Yeah. It's weird, that, isn't it?
Yeah. I think that would be quite a disjointing finding, that you've lost an hour and your watch is still saying that you're an hour in the past.
Yeah.
Or an hour in the future.
An hour in the future. Yeah. Back to the future.
Back to the future. So at this point, you've got to kind of, like I was just saying, put your mind into where Philip is. Disturbed, a bit unsettled, but you're kind of getting by. But he doesn't go running to the authorities. He's unsure if he's just had a simple situation of misjudgment, if his mind's played tricks on him. But he's got like Dave always says, he's got a bit of curiosity, but he's also suffering from a little bit of anxiety too. But the more he thinks about the missing time, the more worried he actually becomes.
Yeah.
And he then gets a hold of his compass. And he looks at it and he notices there's something really strange.
Yeah.
The needle has reversed.
Yeah, back
and
to
the front. Point. Yeah, it no longer points to north. So there's been actual, what's the word?
Magnetic interference.
There's a magnetic correlation, really, with something happening. Discount the UFO. Discount the being that he apparently took a photo of. He has evidence with his compass that something has interacted and something has damaged it in some way.
Yeah.
And the only way that could happen is through electromagnetism. There's no other way that could happen.
It's really interesting. And there's multiple cases over the years in the UK, in America, where the sensitivity of a compass and its magnetic field is affected by whatever this phenomenon is.
Yep. Now, we're on to the kind of the last part of the story. And so, do you know last week when we talked about Silpho Moor?
Yeah.
What was the message again that was apparently translated?
It was basically saying, like, we need to sort it out. Like, we're on a path to disaster.
Yeah, and I think I said at the time that while that happened in the 50s,
Yeah.
what's happened since is a lot of the encounters that people have had tend to have that messaging that goes along with encounters.
Yeah.
The inhabitants of these craft are giving a message of, for want of a better phrase, sort you out, or
Yeah.
something really bad's going to happen. And they are trying to point us towards rectifying our course. I think I mentioned Betty and Barney Hill had a similar thing, and the children at Rua. So, back to Philip. He is disturbed, and he's feeling very uneasy, and he starts to get in touch with UFO researchers that are close by and around the UK. And they all push him towards hypnotic regression to try and get the memories back as to what happened with that hour of time. And it is worth calling out, because again, we're objective here. We want to look at both sides. It is worth saying that the sessions that were run, they were run by investigators and therapists that were sympathetic towards the UFO kind of way of seeing things there, the hypothesis that we are not alone.
Yeah.
But under trance, he starts to recall things.
Yeah.
He recalls, so you've got to think about the order again. This thing waves or pushes him away.
Yeah.
He chases, sees the craft lift off and go. But what he recalls is he didn't just see it.
Yeah.
He says he was taken on it.
Yeah.
He describes being immobilized and being escorted by small beings similar to the one in the photo. And he calls out some more parallels to other cases, which is clinical, medical style procedures, where they seem to be doing something to him, be that checking him out, giving him an examination of sorts. But he's clear at this point that whatever the things are that's doing this to him are not human.
Yeah.
But it doesn't stop there. They took him to watch a film. No, not the cinema.
Jurassic Park.
He gets shown this first film, and it depicts Earth's future in a catastrophic way. Nuclear war, an environmental disaster, famine, and obviously, as we're recording this, Dave, there's a lot happening geopolitically right now, and the nuclear war topic seems to come up quite a lot.
Yes.
But he takes it as an interpretation that they're giving us a warning. But he does then mention that he was shown a second film. And to this day, Philip has never mentioned what was on that film.
Yeah.
He refuses to describe it. And he says the detail of that film were never meant to be revealed.
Okay.
Now, that's a cliffhanger.
That's interesting.
I wonder what it was. I think a few people seem to think that he was shown something personal.
Yeah. Maybe.
And you wouldn't want that sharing, would you?
No, of course not. This is interesting.
And it could be, I don't know what your mind goes to. They're going to probably, I can't think of any other reason. If he's saying, again, he's not releasing his name. He's not trying to give the game away about who he is.
Yeah.
But he is giving details, and he is trying to get a message out that he's shown this film.
Yeah.
So there's no real risk of him being found out as to who he is. That tells me the second film must be personal, really personal.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
So
it is interesting.
But this poses some questions. So Dave, if I was to sit down with you,
yeah,
it would be absolutely pointless me showing you anything from your past because you've lived it. They're your memories.
Yep.
So that would say to me, have they shown him his future?
Maybe.
So what does that say about these beings?
I think.
How do they have this information?
There's a lot of parallels, and certainly, an awful lot of the more highly regarded researchers draw the parallel towards the space-time kind of intertwined nature. It's not that these beings are traveling through space, they're traveling through time, or through, the fabric of reality is kind of the conversation as it goes out, through everything. that I kind of consume, and Kyle, you similar. So, I mean, I guess does it become a further point of not bias, but confirmation of that? Like,
Maybe.
do you know what I mean?
Maybe. Yeah. I find, because I love a lot of topics like the future human hypothesis and stuff like that. And the fun thing about this topic is that no one really knows.
No, of course.
And a lot of it is theories and kind of gamifying a lot of this
until
stuff.
aliens.gov in the United States launches, and then we'll all know everything.
I mean,
Hashtag disclosure.
I really do have hope that this is going to happen soon.
Me too.
And I half expect the news is going to be they're here and we have no idea who they are.
Yeah, I
Probably.
vote Donald Trump, definitely.
Yeah. I've got a working theory at the minute, and it's based like a great channel that everybody should go and watch. And say for you, there's a group of guys called Night Watch.
Okay.
It's just guys like us just doing exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
They're brilliant. There's
Okay.
a guy called Clint. It's his channel. He's amazing.
Okay.
And he has this theory that they'll come clean, and they'll basically come clean and just say Roswell was real, and that'll be it. They won't say anything else. It'll be Roswell was real. This did happen, and aliens are real. Bye.
Yeah, maybe. You never know.
Probably.
If NASA's got anything to do with it, never a straight answer.
Oh no, I love that acronym. Yeah. I love that acronym. So this is where Philip's story comes to an end, but I want to bring it back to the gesture.
Yeah.
So Philip's seen this thing. It's kind of waved or something. He's followed it and it's took off. So you play that out logically. He's walked across the moor, seen it, and he's seen it fly away. There's a part of the hypothesis is he actually came across these beings in the craft before he saw the being in front of him.
Yeah.
And he was taken first by not one but a couple of these beings. This happened to him in the ship. He was then taken off. And at the point that he sees this figure in front of him is the point he's coming back to his senses, and he's watching it go back.
Yeah.
And the gesture, and this is where a little part of me is a bit like, these ones seem friendly, it was waving goodbye.
Yeah.
Before it left. Which I'm a bit like, oh, bless it. It's waving goodbye.
Yeah. Was it?
Yeah, and then, I mean, who knows what their gestures are?
Yes.
It's a human gesture. So yeah, that's kind of how it plays out. And then, like I said, the history of this is the photograph came out and it caused a furore in the UFO landscape, and it's been contested ever since. But it's quite a good photo.
Yeah.
It is quite a good photo. And that, Dave, is Ilkley Moor.
I love it. Ilkley Moor Bartat with a UFO. That's the New Yorkshire saying for 2026.
What more do you want?
What
more do you need?
I find the hypnotic regression fascinating. My wife has read a lot of books around regression, and I do find it absolutely fascinating. And I don't know about you guys at home. Drop a comment below. Let us know what you think. Like, do you trust regression? Have you ever had it done? Like, have you ever kind of got detailed stories that make you like really believe that? We'd love to hear about it. But I think for me that's the fascinating part. It's that. It's the, everything that he said, and he's, this photo has become one of the strongest pieces of evidence of extraterrestrial, assuming it's extraterrestrial visitation, right? Of all time. But the story that backs it up, but only came out through hypnotic regression, is, I think that's the thing that keeps me kind of thinking about this one and kind of questioning it and looking at it. I'd love some more evidence. I'd love to know about the kind of extra kind of film, the kind of future that he Mr. Spencer was shown. I guess we'll never know, but it is a shame. I'd love it if he did just drop a a quick tweet out there, or it's X now, isn't it, or whatever. Any platform, drop a Facebook post, just so you know it was me. I'm Phil Spencer, and here's your bombshell.
Phil, we're local.
If you're watching,
nearby.
Phil, we could meet for a
And
pint.
we're friend.
Yeah,
we could do. We're friendly.
We are.
I'll get the round in.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do love this case.
Yeah.
And please, if anybody watches this, go find Area 52 and watch Chris Ramsey's take on this. Yeah. It's really, really good.
Yeah. I think. So let's think about it from that believer point of view, Kyle. So we know there's strong evidence, right? We've got that photograph. There's a consistent witness testimony from a trained observer, a credible professional. There was a missing time element, which couldn't be verified, and obviously came out through the regression of kind of where that time went. And then the compass reversing its kind of polarity, whatever you kind of describe that as, i.e. the physical effects that Mr. Spencer encountered. Where do you stand on those? Are you trending towards belief?
Yeah, on this one, like last week, it was a really interesting conversation last week where I argued the fact that I don't think the tests were very good, but I came away from that thinking it was a hoax. Like, I did feel like that was a hoax. This one's a little bit different for me.
Yeah.
I think with all the topics that you've just said there, if we go back to our what you're betting on, black or red situation, I would be betting on this probably happened, because you've got. I look at the evidence of trained observer, working in the police force, won't reveal his identity, so doesn't want to get rich off it. It's a maintained story for a long, long time, and it's not. While it's outlandish, it's also simplistic, and it also matches the themes that you tend to see across the subject matter as well. I walk away from that thinking, this something probably happened to this guy.
Yeah.
Something did happen. So for this one, I come away thinking I feel like it happened.
Yeah. Well, I don't disagree.
Where you betting?
I think let's cover the skeptic side first, and then ask me again. So let's approach it from the skeptic's perspective. Let me see if I can change your mind on your current stance.
Go for it.
So there's a blurry photo. Could be anything. It could be a cardboard cutout. It could be a misinterpreted shape. There's an awful lot in psychology.
Paragolia?
Yeah, where you see something in everything, right? Exactly. So it could be something like that. It's quite interesting. The proximity to military installations, which could explain the lights, saucer light. Hypnosis at times drives unreliable memory reconstruction, and it can come from, hallucination kind of space rather than actual memory space. So if you're on the skeptic side, maybe those things would kind of trend you more to betting on
red.
Yeah.
So where do you stand?
I think I still believe, actually. I think even with those, I think like I say, this one fascinates me. I think I'd seen something somewhere, and this is, I find even more fascinating, is this creature, being whatever you want to call it, the description is almost identical to a Hopkinsville goblin.
I've heard of those.
Yeah. So that's a phenomenon, I can never say that word, we need to find a better word, that happens in America. So Hopkinsville goblins, like the kind of resemblance and the kind of parallel description is like, it's so close. It's really interesting. Maybe they're, extraterrestrial, whatever they are. I don't know. But but that's really fascinating. And I just find that's another little angle that I come at this from and go, I don't know, but I'm definitely trending for belief.
Yeah, I mean, if there is something that's really similar elsewhere, that says that they're being seen in multiple places.
Yeah.
I always go to Jacques Vallée when it comes to this, and Passport to Magonia, and it like that book is so good at trying to rationalise historical sightings of things like the fairies, goblins, hobgoblins, and aligning them to this potential phenomenon that has been with us in perpetuity, but just puts on a different mask to suit the times that we're in.
Yes. Yeah, it's fascinating. Fascinating.
Love it, mate. Love it.
Nice.
Here for it.
Good. And this is exactly what UAP Network's all about, guys. Listen, we want to hear from you guys. We've got an email address. We'll pop it below. Let us know. Have you encountered anything like this? Have you encountered anything at all? Do you not believe us? Just drop us an email. We'd love to hear from you. Any engagement is better than no engagement. If you're too shy for an email, drop a comment below. We're more than happy to reach out. But we're trying to build a community around this. We're based in the UK. There's not a lot covering this in the UK, so we're going to focus in. Of course, we'll talk about the wider kind of news and topics across the world, because that's really important. It's affecting all of us globally, but there's just not enough talk about what's happening in here in sunny Yorkshire, but actually in the wider UK.
One of the hot spots where we're from as well.
It is. And as Kyle said, we're going to dive into more of the MOD files, so I hope you guys will stick with us for that. That'll come over in the next couple of weeks. And hopefully that'll give us a bit more, oh, wow, there's a bit more data, and we can start to build up that picture. And hopefully we'll get our freedom of information request back as well, and we can deep dive into that, maybe in the same one as the MOD files. So, yeah, it's good.
Get in touch. I keep saying it every week, and I'm so let down, Dave, that no one has invited me to come look at UFOs in the back garden.
Yeah, fair.
It sounds weird, but I mean it. Reach out and let us know what's going on with you guys, and if any of this stuff is making sense. And I've got some anecdotal feedback for you as well, off camera, Dave, about people that actually are watching these videos and really enjoying it.
Good.
So continue to keep watching and letting us know what's going on in your world.
Amazing. So make sure you smash that like button, because it really helps out the channel. Let us know whether you like it. Drop a comment. Community engagement's so important in this topic. And make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any future uploads. Kyle and I will be back next week for another fun-filled episode of UAP Network. Can't wait to see you then.
Bye-bye.